It was past time for me to get rid of my small hand-me-down dresser. The tiny drawers were always overflowing, so I decided to build my own. And I built this large 6-drawer dresser for a fraction of the cost of buying a new one. And the drawers are massive. They're going to have so much room to store everything I need.
I started by cutting out the plywood pieces according to the plans linked below. I like to break down my plywood sheets with my circular saw on a piece of rigid foam. The foam supports the entire piece of plywood while I cut it out, and it is inexpensive. I started by ripping the sheet of plywood down with a rip cut guide on my circular saw. Then I used the AccuCut to cross-cut the pieces to their final length. For the 1x2 and 2x2 boards, I cut them to length using my miter saw. I added pocket holes to the 3/4 inch edge of the 1x2 trim pieces. Make sure to center the board carefully on your jig because this is a very small area to add a pocket hole to. Then I added pocket holes to the perimeter of the side panel pieces, making sure to position the top and bottom pocket holes so they not be in the way of the pocket holes I just added to the trim pieces. I assembled the sides by first attaching the trim to the top and bottom of the side panels using pocket hole screws and wood glue. Then I attached the side panels and trim pieces to one of the 2x2 legs. The lower trim piece is centered on the leg just 1.5 inches up from the bottom. Once everything was attached to one leg, I attached the second leg to the other side, then repeated so I had 2 identical side pieces. Next, I built the front frame using 1x2 boards. When adding pocket holes to the front dividers, make sure to offset them so that the 2 sets of pocket holes do not go into the center exactly the same or you will not get a strong joint. I attached the middle dividers to the center board. When attaching the boards on the other side of the center, I found a face frame clamp was the easiest way to hold them tight while driving in the screws. Then I attached the top and bottom to the front of the frame so they were centered. Now it was time to put all the pieces together. I attached the front frame to the side panels using the pocket holes already drilled in the side of the frame boards. The front frame is set back 1/4 inch from the front, so I used scraps of 1/4 inch MDF under the frame to keep it perfectly spaced while I secured it. For the back, I added 2x2 supports at the top and bottom of the frame section. I also added a matching 1x2 trim on the bottom similar to the decorative trim on the sides. I do not have a back added to my dresser because I don't feel like it is necessary. If you want one, you can add a 1/4 inch piece of plywood to it. But I would recommend you do not add it until the drawers are installed because no back makes it super easy to install your drawer slides. Then I finished the dresser frame by adding a center support. There is a plywood panel added to the center to give you a place to install the drawer slides. And lastly, a 2x2 center leg to help support the weight of all the clothes you can store in here. For my dresser drawers, I used 1/4 inch plywood. I was able to get all the pieces for all 6 large drawers perfectly out of one 4x8 sheet. I cut a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch groove in all the drawer pieces. I did this by making multiple passes on my table saw, but you can also do it with a circular saw or a router. To assemble the drawer boxes, I used 1-inch pneumatic staples and wood glue. You can also assemble them with pocket holes if you prefer. I have a detailed post on 3 easy ways to build drawers on housefulofhandmade.com if you want more information. I attached the front between the 2 sides, then slid the drawer bottom into the groove, and finished the drawer by attaching the back between the sides to enclose the bottom. I also like to round over the inside edge of my drawer boxes. This is totally optional, but I prefer the smooth edge over the sharp plywood corners when I'm tiredly getting things from the drawers in the morning. I installed the drawer boxes so they were set back 3/4 inches from the front of the frame. I used 16-inch long drawer slides on the sides, and I have a blog post with tips and tricks for installing drawer slides on housefulofhandmade.com as well. I added edge banding to the perimeter of all the drawer front pieces. The drawer fronts were attached to the front of the drawers with 1/8 spacing all around them. Since the back is open, I was able to easily temporarily attach the drawer fronts with 1-inch brad nails. Then I permanently attached them with 1-inch screws from the inside of all 4 corners into the front of the drawer front. Then I removed the drawers, making sure to label them so they would go back in the right spots later. The top was laid on my workbench. Then I used an extra set of hands to flip the dresser frame upside down on top of it. I drilled countersunk holes in the front and back top boards, then secured the top with 1-inch and 2-inch screws. I reinserted the large drawers and now the dresser is done. I built my dresser out of knotty alder wood and just sealed it to help the natural beauty of the wood shine.
I just love the way this turned out, and these large drawers are going to be so much fun to fill up with all the things. And stay tuned because next I'm building 2 more dressers to match this one as well as a matching nightstand to make the perfect bedroom set. And if you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe to follow along on housefulofhandmade.com for even more amazing things to build for your home.